Welcome to the Sales Dojo podcast. The podcasts are here to help you address the real issues salespeople face every single day.
So we've got 3 posts. No, we've got 4 posts. We've got 3 presenters, and we've got 2 blocks of 20 minutes to book a bit. I don't know. I was just trying to get some numbers together, and then we've got one. We've got one lovely Susie. That's where I was going with that, Susie. Anyway, how are you both?
Oh, you're so lovely. I'm good. I've put some makeup on today, finally, for a Twiz, because I know they're now recorded and on video and on YouTube. So if you aren't already a subscriber, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can see me with makeup on this week.
There you go.
I've stopped wearing diving flippers and no top.
I've changed nothing, and I've no intention. Not me suit, not me shit, nothing. Right, we've got 4 posts. The first one is one from you, Susie.
It is, yeah.
Eric Larocque, Larocque.
I'm going to go for Larocque.
Okay,
so Eric Larocque, you are a fractional VP of sales. And I love the fact that you say you find diamonds in the rough, because the small stuff is all about polishing diamonds as well. So I think we're on a similar wavelength here. And Eric is talking about waiting staff. And his post caught my attention because the opening line is, waiters and waitresses make the best salespeople. That's a hill I will die on, is what he says. Now, I'm not going to read the whole post, but basically what Eric talks about here is that I've lost my words already. That's not good, is it? The resistance they build, is that the right word?
Resilience.
I've just forgotten all my English. That's not very good, is it? Resilience, that's the word. The resilience they have, their multitasking abilities, etc., make them great at being salespeople. And I just wanted to jump on this bandwagon and say, I agree. I think this is such a good shout, Eric. And what I've experienced a lot in my sales career is having a criteria to hire salespeople that just doesn't fit with the skills that you actually need them to be able to do. I remember when I first joined a team, we were hiring salespeople who needed a bachelor's degree to do cold calling. And it was just ridiculous. Like, it was such a stupid requirement. Yeah, if you've got a bachelor's degree, you're probably going to be really good at lots of the stuff that you need to be, but you're also probably not going to hang around for much time because you're wanting to make the next step and progress in your career. Also, nothing wrong with that. But by only hiring people with bachelor's degrees, you're only getting a certain type of person in those roles. And so we switched it up. We got rid of it. And we basically just took on people with personality, who were hard workers, who knew what it was to get down and make X number of phone calls a day. And they did a great job. They did a much better job than when we had purely graduates doing the role. So I just wanted to praise this post, Eric, and say, yes, you can find salespeople, excellent salespeople in all walks of life. And I agree that approaching people who are good waiting staff could be a really great way of finding salespeople. Leon, I know you've had a lot of experience of hiring salespeople in your years in sales and in business. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree completely. We said in the green room before that one of the best experiences we've had as a threesome together buying something was in Mamasan restaurant in Liverpool, when the waitress was brilliant. She remembered everything. She had a good laugh. I personally used to work in hospitality when I was 16, 17, 18, 19. I think they're the kind of skills that I've developed and used in lots of sales roles later on. Not worrying about objection. I mean, one of the things that Eric says is build rapport, which obviously we don't like that turn of phrase, but you know, I was in a coffee shop on Saturday morning with Frankie and Alex, and had a little bit of a chat and a laugh with the woman. And she said before we left, I gave her a tip, and a decent tip, because we had a good laugh and we had an enjoyment. And being able to do that with people you're selling with, working with, and stuff like that's, it's really important. So yeah, I agree completely. I've employed lots of people in the past who previously worked in hospitality. And if I speak to younger people now, I would say to them, go and get either a job cold calling, because you'll use them skills for the rest of your life, or go and get a job in hospitality, because those personable skills are something that'll serve you really well for the rest of your career.
Love that, and totally agree with what you're saying. I remember actually that our CEO hired somebody who used to work in the bakery around the corner from where he lived. He used to go in there with his wife every day to get his, I don't know, coffee and croissant or whatever he would buy. And he was so impressed by her that he offered her a job, and she became one of the top performing salespeople in the company because she had those skills. So I think, I just love this. I'm full of praise for this post. Chris, what would you like to add? Or maybe you're going to disagree.
Well, seeing as everyone's been so full of praise and brown nose in your ear, Eric, I'm going to pull you down a peg or two, sunshine. All right. No, I'm not. I love the post. The one thing is, why is everyone dying on hills on LinkedIn at the moment?
That's a cool thing to do.
Everything is a hill that they'll die on. Like, come on, calm down. It's a great post, but like, don't die over it, Eric, especially not on a hill. That'd be shit. But yeah, I never got it when I was in the corporate world, the graduate sales recruitment scheme. Like, and people turn, no, I've got a degree in the art history. Well, all right, go and phone a sales director at a company and try and sell them something. Your art history degree is going to do less than jack shit for you, sunshine. Yeah. But it was an absolute, if you had somebody turned up and they were red hot, like, you'd want to get them on a phone for you straight away, but they didn't have a degree. They didn't get the job. I don't know whether this is still the practice in the big corporate world or not. Sales is performing arts. This is, we're all just frustrated actors. This is about depth of character and courage and self-discipline and all these things. And having a 2-1 in leatherwork studies from a Wally Polly somewhere, I just don't get it. So yeah, we used to love taking on for sales roles was ex-military vets. One, because it's a great thing to do, but two, what do people who've been in the military for years all have in common? You say, right, it's Monday 9 a.m. you're here. By Friday 5 p.m. I need you to be here. And they go, okay. They've done it by halfway through Wednesday. They're really solution orientated, task orientated, incredibly disciplined. We had some fabulous veterans come in doing sales jobs, and they were a bit of a laugh. They had something about them, bit whatever. Sometimes a bit hard to manage, when they came in with guns. Not really. But yeah, love this, Eric. Great post. And if you are listening to this and you're trying to recruit, kind of open your eye line a little bit to who's out there. And it's not all about gift of the gab and all that. You don't want to gobshite as a salesperson. So yeah, love that, Eric. Well done, but don't die on a hill. Everyone on LinkedIn, stop dying on hills. Ridiculous.
Stop going on hills, full stop. Listen, if you are listening to this in your university and you're doing a degree, please do complete your degree as well. And it is something to be said for completing degrees, despite what Chris might have maybe alluded to just before.
I'm not having anything against the educational system. All my children are in it right now, doing masters and BAs and all this sort of stuff. And I don't think any of them are going to go on to a sales career. That's not on their radar. Heartbreaking for me, you can appreciate. But yeah, all I'm saying is employers, don't be hell-bent you've got to have a graduate for a sales job. There is some amazing people out there. Give them a chance.
Agreed. Chris, got a post from you next from your namesake. Well, kind of.
Christian Kraus, so not really, but thanks.
There's 5 letters are the same.
All right then, yeah. So yeah, Christian says, I sent 25 LinkedIn DMs every day in all of 2025, and this is a hill that I will die. No, he didn't say that. He said, I sent 25 LinkedIn DMs every day in 2025. Here's what I learned. Shared it because it's a top 10. Love the top 10. Yeah. He says, DMs get a 10 times higher reply rate than in-mails. Interesting. Voice messages get more replies than text messages. I've experienced that. Video DMs get the highest response rates of all. In fact, that's a lie. I've added the of all on there, Christian, so I was using poetic license. You need Sales Navigator lead lists to stay organized. Always give value or insight before making a pitch. Be super specific with your personalization. Only ask one question per message, never multiple. Hope you guys are paying attention because I'm going to quiz you on these in a minute. 8, make your message 100% about the prospect. 9, match their pace. If they message fast, respond fast. And every chat with the next step, call or future touch. Goes on to say most sales leaders believe LinkedIn DMs don't work because 99% of DMs out there are crap. Bold statement, Christian. Okay. People usually underestimate, and he goes on to mention some other stuff. Let's not go into the negatives. Out of that top 10 list, anything that stands out to you two?
Yeah, I would say one that stands out that I don't agree with is that you need Sales Navigator lead lists to stay organized. You need to be organized to stay organized. You don't necessarily need to use any particular platform or way of doing it. It's, if you use a pen and paper, as long as you update your pen and paper and you put a red line through stuff you've done and you keep moving stuff forward, you'll definitely get away with that. I'm not sure on the response rates, video DMs and voice messages being better. I'm just thinking about this as me. Like, if someone I don't know sends me a video, like, I get the ick. So
dangerous though, isn't it, to go, I wouldn't buy like that, so I won't sell like that. Because how many people go, well, I'd never take a cold call.
Yeah, no, I know. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. But the one thing is, like, loads of that stuff is not necessarily just DMs and LinkedIn DMs. Loads of that stuff is transferable to other platforms, like match their pace, fast or slow, whatever way it is. That's in person, that's on messaging. You know, I did a little bit of work because you introduced me to someone recently, Chris, and it was with a company that was doing student stuff, and they were emailing the students. And it was like, yeah, the students probably aren't going to reply to emails, but if you WhatsApp them, they'll respond. And then they change, and then you're getting loads more responses back. And it's like, communicate with someone where they want to be communicated, I think is definitely really important. I agree, though, 99% of DMs out there are crap. Like, I genuinely am wondering if there's any value in it, but I would like to start a website for all the crap DMs that I get and just say, look, maybe take their names out and just go, look, if you're doing this, here's what might be better, because so much of it is such utter tosh, including I got a guy who's got phones in his name, you know, the little emojis for phones in his name, because they do cold call and outreach. He hasn't fucking phoned me once, but he sent me 32 messages on LinkedIn saying, can I ring you? And I'm like, fuck off. Sorry.
That not swearing's going well this year, Leon.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
My goodness, these expletives. This is it's not doing my ears any good here, Leon.
Good job we're R-rated, isn't it?
It is a good job that there's a warning, yeah. And that's a really interesting one, is that you've got somebody who is promoting that they do cold calling and their chosen outreach is 32 DMs or whatever you just said.
Yeah, 36.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Is, are you matching what you're saying you're doing as well? Would you like to hear my opinion on Christian's list, or?
No, we're going to go on to the next post.
All right. Okay, fair enough.
Which stood out to you, Susie, or not?
The one that stood out to me, which I've actually never thought about before, so thanks for opening my eyes, Christian, is number 9, match their pace. If they message fast, respond fast. And I'm assuming if they take a while to respond, do the same. That's a really interesting one for me. All the others I would say I'm in general agreement with. I'm definitely a fan of the video message or the voice message rather than a written message. And I can definitely buy into the fact that you get a higher response rate through those. But I think that's a really good point about matching their pace. So if they respond quickly, then they're online, then grab it and utilize that energy and that kind of flow to get back to them quickly. So I think that's a really cool one. I'd be interested in how many, Christian, your responses you got. So if you're sending 25 a day, an average of 20 days a month, etc., what you're saying in your kind of tagline is that you're booking 20 to 30 qualified meetings a month through that. So if that's the rate, I'm quite interested. 25 DMs a day and 20 to 30 qualified meetings a month. That sounds pretty good. nowadays. And I agree with you. I get a lot of bad DMs. So I think these are some really great tips. I will always respond to a video message. If I've not responded to your video message, feel free to call me out, but I believe I do. Because I kind of appreciate the effort you've gone to make that video message. I might just respond with a quick thanks, but doesn't sound like it's for me as a text, but I'll always try to because I feel like you've made the effort. So I'm a big fan of the video message. Yeah, I love this list. We love a list on Twiz anyway. So thanks, Christian. Thanks, Chris, for bringing it up.
There's one bit to add on to what Leon was saying about, and you've just brought up Susie. Practice what you preach. So I was tagged in a thing on LinkedIn this week, and I tagged you on it as well, Susie, in the end, about somebody looking for cold calling training. And it was a very specific request on cold calling training, which wasn't actually my bag because it was about a tech stack that went with it, which wasn't really my forte. And I commented and said, "Hey, thanks for the kind words." Somebody tagged me on saying that basically I was like God or something. I don't know. And I said, but it's not really my wheelhouse. You really want to speak to Susie Matheson. And I tagged you in it. But this guy wanted somebody to train his team to pick up the phone and call out. And the amount of people who were tagged who commented, "Thanks, I'll request you DM me." So he's just said he wants an expert in picking up the phone and calling people. And you've asked him to DM you. My friend requested you, like whatever. So I actually commented to him, if you choose anybody who hasn't picked up the phone to you first and made a really good call, put your head in the bin. Yeah. And I see this so often on there is choose the right channel, practice what you preach. For me, the one that stands out on there as well, and this is a general rule of thumb in every situation in sales, only ask one question. We get giddy, and I've been reviewing a lot of sales calls last week, and people would say, "So, what's your usual solution to this? And how many times a year do you do that? Is it this? Is it that?" And they've asked like 4 questions without taking a breath for the person to answer it. Just ask one question at a time so people can answer. Blah, blah, blah.
Love it. Nice one. And nice one to Eric for tagging you in that post and saying you were a god, Chris. That was nice of the dog to do that, wasn't it?
I know, yeah. He does think of me like that, my dog.
Next one is another one from you, Chris, and it's from the fabulous Sarah Dick over at My Sales Coach.
All right, Dicko. How you doing? Hiya, Sarah. Yeah, you know what? There is no teaching for anybody in this post. I'm just going to read it out quick. Sarah says, "I have an idea. I recently got back from the Canary Islands where it was warm. I've come back to work only to see Matt Banks cold calling from a bar in Turkey." He's just got a promotion as well. Well done, Matt. We're all here trying to build 2026 pipeline. We're all fed up of the weather. I was reading this. It was about -10 outside my house. So here's my idea, says Sarah. We, collective for all the sales reps reading this, should rent a huge villa for a week somewhere sunny and cold call. Think prospecting day, but for 7 days in the sun with pina coladas and a pool. Anyone with me? Right. I only posted this. When are we going to make this happen? Come on, team. Leon, we've put some crazy events together before now. I think Love Island cold calling edition in the Bahamas, where there's no love, there's just cold calls and pina coladas going on, would be. We got a YouTube channel now. We could film it. We could sit loads of. Susie, you are involved in this. Don't look like you're not.
If you can fit us in between our holidays.
Well, you're probably already there when we get there. Oh, look, Susie's already in the Bahamas. I think this is brilliant. Why are sales teams sat in these like long desks in strip-like lit offices with the noise of a broken coffee machine in the background and one speaker playing some tunes so everybody gets drowned out from hearing each other in a cold northwest office somewhere? Why aren't they renting a big villa and everybody is sat round a pool with big drinks with umbrellas in them, making cold calls and smashing out the park? It's 2026. This can happen. Susie, where are we going? When are we going to do it?
I love this for so many reasons, because all of us who are business owners would be able to expense the flights.
Always with the tax dodging ideas.
I love this. Right. Sarah, yes, I'm there. I think it's great. And I think I wasn't privy to this, but you guys used to run like call-a-thons, didn't you?
We did. Yeah, we did. We used to do telemarketing takeover events in Liverpool.
Think Anton Deck Saturday night takeaway, but you were there to make cold calls.
Love it. Let's make this happen. We just need to think about time of year and where to go. So I'm thinking, 6-hour flight would probably be manageable to get somewhere where, Emirates, somewhere like Dubai, Bahrain, Doha, that would be a good place weather-wise. Bahamas, it's far. That's probably a 10 to 12-hour flight, probably with a stopover in the US. I'm off to New Zealand in a couple of weeks and there's good weather there, but that's a 24-hour flight. So I think we need to get thinking about the right location for the time of year. But Sarah, I'm in.
I think Sarah's right with the Canary Islands. In a few months, it'd be 24 degrees, 25 degrees.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I don't want to go Bahrain in the middle of summer because it'll be 180,000 degrees.
Yeah, but it's good now. Like January time for Bahrain is good. Like if you were going in June, that would be awful. But
I was thinking Benidorm. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Torremolinos. Oh, yeah.
Love it.
It's so hot, I have to give you an ice cold call. Come on, there's so much we could do with this here. Sarah, it's your idea. We're not nicking it, but we kind of are. This is trademark soon. We could hire like the Wenger bus and all go there on that. And we could do, that's how we do cold call on a bus instead of cold call like a boss. We'll hire a bus and we'll drive there.
And you get out of the problem with your boss complaining that you're doing it, in that you're on the phone all the way there. You're on the phone while you're in the sun in your shorts, and you're on the phone all the way back on the bus. This has got legs, this.
Absolutely.
Like, and just make sure that they are on the most fabulous Your Business mobile deal to make sure that they can do international calling at the cheapest rates.
Oh my God, this is opening up doors left, right, and Geronimo, isn't it?
Happening.
Because people pay, like, I always laugh. Sorry, and I know a few people who do this, so I hope none of them listen to the podcast, but I always laugh when people pay like 900 quid to go and do yoga in Thailand for 3 days when they can do it at home for nothing. And I'm like, all right, yeah. And it's like, oh, look, but we had a Buddha bowl. It's like, yeah, you can get one of them out of the Tesco's. What are you on about? So I reckon this has got massive legs. We can probably charge 10 grand per company. It costs us about 1,500 quid to put it together, and we can make a fortune on the back of it.
You know what? What's his name? Is it Paul Taylor over in Bali?
Yeah, Paul. It is Paul. It's not Taylor though. Yeah, but we should probably go and we could stay in his and then not have any costs. He could cook.
And he's a great sales coach. He could help other people there as well. And play guitar. Yeah. Oh, got legs.
Anyway,
thank you. Great idea.
Let's come back to this business idea in the future.
Nice one, Dicko.
So one last post is from David Chevalier. And this caught my eye because it reminded me of something that someone told me, I reckon 25, 26, 27 years ago. Anyway, David writes, there are two types of A's. Some are machines and are sensitive. The machines, they run the deck, they follow the script, they deliver long presentations, they talk a lot, they ask a little mistake a monologue for selling. And they are the sensitives, they listen first, they read the room, they understand what exactly matters to the prospect. They build a real connection, they propose a solution. Machines not sell features, great salespeople sell an emotion before they sell a solution. That's why great sales teams will always beat a great product. And the reason why it caught my eye is because he uses a X, which we're not going to talk about because hopefully it's going to get banned soon. He uses a post from X which says a bad product with a great sales team will beat a great product with a bad sales team every time. One of the sad truths of B2B sales. The only way that Chris, who put the post on X, could have made this stand out anymore is if he said, and that's a hill I'll die on. That's the only thing that's missing from his post. But I wanted your input, and the reason why it piqued my interest was Jason Ward was my boss 26, 27 years ago when I first started in telecoms. And I asked him something like this, and he looked at me like a cow that had just licked piss off a nettle. He gave me that look where it was like so puzzled, and I was like, why is he doing this? I asked him something about good sales teams or products and stuff like that. And he said, if I had £1 million worth of IT, do you think I would get 10 salespeople to sell it or 10 IT geeks? And I was like, yeah, okay, I get that. So I wanted your input on it. For me, I think it probably sits somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to go early on the sitting on the fence bit in this conversation. And I don't think like a really crap product can be sold by a good sales team. Otherwise, you'd end up with churn and people leaving and buyer's remorse and all that kind of stuff. But I'd love your thoughts on this, Chris.
There's got to be context to this because it's about longevity in it. You can sell a piece of crap to anyone for a time, but there's no longevity in it. Yeah, it will catch up with you in the end. You will have decimated your marketplace. You get bad reputation, especially in the modern world. But what will kill a business more than anything is obscurity. No matter how good your product is, nobody knows about it. Nobody understands it. Nobody realizes they have a need for it. Just doesn't matter. Always reminds me of years ago. Must be 2010, I think it was. My lad was 9 at the time, and there was a craze called Stack'ems. I don't know if you remember this, and it was spread via YouTube at the time. And it was kids in the lunch break would have like 12 plastic cups. And it was how fast can you stack them on top of each other into a pyramid and unstack them again. So you've just got one big pile of cups. And for Christmas, he really wanted this something military edition or something Stack'ems. So I went online, cost me 20 quid. And I bought a pack of Stack'ems for him. And a packet of 12 plastic cups arrived. You know, the sort of things 99p in B&M bargains that had some like military fatigue sort of colours on them. I was like, 20 quid? It's a packet of plastic cups. The guy made millions for 6 months. And then you would never see him again. Yeah. Why? Because he had bloody good marketing and sales. Yeah. But there was no longevity in it. Yeah. If you want longevity, then you've got to kind of back up what you're saying as well. Guy who wrote Fireman Sam, that's got some longevity. Do you know he lives in the south of France on a boat now? Do you know what his boat's called?
Pontypandy?
That would be excellent, but it's not.
No, I was going to go with Sam.
Close. It's called Thank You, Sam.
Aww.
Everything that he owns. Yeah. Pontypandy would have been a better name for it. This is it. Longevity, you need a good product. If you just want to go out and make a load of money, salespeople can sell it for you. Yeah. Then you've got the whole moral argument comes into it as well. But I take salespeople over products every time if you need to get something shifted quick. Susie?
Yeah, in general, yes, I agree that you need good salespeople. You also need to have a product that you stand behind, right? So there's loads of ways we could take this conversation. I'm trying to decide which way. There's a movie. Oh my goodness, I'm just about to make a reference to a movie that I've watched.
New year, new you.
If you're not following us on YouTube,
can we do like a video edit where it's like, duh, 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 Susie's talking about a movie? Like,
I'm sure Glenn can sort that.
Thank You for Smoking.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, obscure.
Honestly, now.
No.
Oh no, it's a really good movie, but basically it's about the spin doctor, the person who speaks for the tobacco companies and basically spins it into a positive story as to why you should smoke and things. Really interesting, really cool film. It's probably at least 20 years ago. I think it's Aaron Eckhart or someone like that is the main actor in it. There we go. See that? Anyways, Rob Lowe's in it, Adam Brody's in it. See, it's a popular film from 2005. Leon has just popped it up there on the screen. Anyways, it's, people would consider him to be a bad person because he can put this positive spin on it. By the end of the film, I was like, oh, maybe I should take up smoking because he does such a good job of it, right? So the point is, there's this ethical piece, I think, around here. So that's one of the points I guess I wanted to make around this. The other one is that sometimes you have the machine working for you in your team and the machine works. Right? Because this is the point of the post, right? Is that you've got the people who are sensitive, they're good at asking questions. And then you've got this machine, the people who run the deck, follow the script, deliver the presentations, etc., etc. And sometimes you have a machine in your team that does a blooming good job. They're not doing it the way you should. They're not doing it the way that you would teach or train. They're not showing that sensitivity, but they're just sheer, I don't know, hard work gets them through a lot of barriers that somebody else might not get through. So sometimes I just want to make this point here that to what David's demonstrating, it can be worth leaving the machine to do what they're doing, even if though it's not necessarily what everyone else should do, because it's working. And they're just hard workers. And I think I just wanted to make that point because I've worked with a few machines, or I've been brought in occasionally as a sales trainer to try and change a machine, a person who's doing this. And actually, sometimes I'll say to them, they're not doing it the way I would do it, but they're doing something that's working. So why do you want to change it? You might not want everyone else to do the same thing, but they found their rhythm and their way. So I know I'm going against a lot of what sales trainers might say here, but sometimes it's worth focusing on the rest of the crew and leaving the machine to it than trying to change the machine as well. So perhaps an extra message there. Totally went off on a tangent there, right?
No, it's proper true. There's only one KPI. I don't. If I had a sales team and half of them worked from home all week and the other one wanted to be on the moon or always on all, and every one of them was smashing revenue in for me, don't care. Like that's ultimately why you're there, isn't it? I am fine with that. Philosophical question for you. That's not philosophical, it's factual. But quite often you'll hear people say, I can't sell anything that I don't believe in. And I go, okay, if you sell that, I was to give you £1 million tax free, would you have a bloody good go at selling it? And it's not you can't, it's you don't really want to because you get that ick about doing it. And I'm all right with that, but it's not true that you can't sell something you don't believe in. Of course you can. Somebody said, I'll give you £10 million if you sell that, and nobody's getting hurt, nothing's going wrong. Yeah, you'd find a way to sell it. So I think that argument is a bit off by people. Leon, it was you that shared this post, though. What are your major thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mentioned before what my major thoughts were, and developing them from what Susie said, I agree. So whenever we had sales teams in the telecoms business, when we had like 50, 60 people out on the road selling, if I use 50 as an easy example, around 10% of my sales team were like high performers. So they were like, doing 5 or 6 people's numbers. They drove a really nice car. They often sold for 3 months and then went out drinking for a month and went into rehab, and then we got them back a month after that. And then about 20-30% of them would have been like overachieving on numbers, and then about 50% of them were just about bobbing their head above making the money. But because there was so many of them, they ended up making you a decent number. And it's always been that way. So I agree with exactly what Susie says. Like, you need all of them. You need a mix of all of them. You need the ones who are just, the ones who exceed target once or twice a year, but they don't lose any money for the rest of the year. You need them because you want them to pop up every now and again and keep your numbers up when your top performers in the priority.
Who have you worked with?
She may listen and she'll know, and she'll probably message me.
All right, fair one. Oh yeah, if you're listening,
he or she.
All
yeah.
Right, okay.
So let me see if I can find a theme for Susie when I do a wrap up here. So Eric was talking about waiters and waitresses and why they make the best salespeople. We had Christine Krause's DMs and some top 10 lists of do's and don'ts. We had Sarah Dick with the idea that we've stolen. We're going to market in the next couple of days of the Thailand telemarketing takeaway. And then we had David Chevalier's 2 types of AEs. And then finally, we had Susie's film, Thank You for Smoking, which I haven't watched and I'm going to watch. So I think the theme today was probably they're all about sales.
How did you manage to come up with that one, mate?
It's the best I can do. Susie, can you beat it?
Oh, I love it. I'm laughing too much. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, all about sales.
That's an oxymoron, Susie, because you can never laugh too much. It's not possible. Cool. Catch you all soon. Take care. If you're not following us on YouTube, then what have you been doing? You should do. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, then you should do. And if you're not already following Susie, Chris, and myself on LinkedIn, maybe do the first 2 and just avoid me. Have a great week.